Yeah, October 8th here, 9:53 in the morning here. As you can see, the market has just been chopping sideways here. Not not really much action. We have news here at 10:10 that I want to pay attention to. It's gonna have an effect on how the S&P 500 moves. So if you're in a trade now, be careful at 10:10. That news is going to drop. I mean, it's always a 50-50 coin toss, whether it's going to drive the market or start to push the market down. But kind of on the S&P 500, we're really holding this 200 moving average is going to be support. No real resistance here on the S&P 500 as far as if it wants to go higher. But you can see it's been a real choppy, just kind of really chopping sideways. But like I said, the really only support we've got is that 200 moving average here on the S&P 500. So if we drop below that moving average, then we can go short. But for right now, looking more toward the bullish side. But just because we've been so choppy, we want to be very careful here. Or if we do decide to take entries, it'd have to be closer to that 200 moving average for me to want to jump in here. Starting to get a little rip here. So big run up here. Again, we want to wait before we jump in to see a better entry point. And then as well, we have that news coming out at 10:10. But man, talk about a move here quickly. Again, really, I mean, it was that 200 moving average. I mean, we touched it once, twice, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Almost 10 times we touched that 200 moving average as we just kind of chopped around sideways. And that's what really held support here. So that area really held support. Nice little push off that area. Again, we have news at 10:10. So if you're in a trade, be careful. Maybe think about closing it out or trimming it out before that 10:10 area hits. So right now, sitting back, being patient, waiting for the next opportunity here. Okay, not much action we can play off of until that news kind of comes out toward 10:10, or if we get that pullback down to the 200 moving average. So no trades on the day here for me so far today. We'll see what happens after the news drops and be able to play the market accordingly based upon that news, whether that's to the long side or short side. We'll let the market dictate that. Yeah, market kind of starting off the day here super choppy. It's really kind of consolidating right above that 200 moving average. It's kind of been the theme. And then we finally got that push above the 200 moving average, but kind of in that holding pattern until we get that news drop at 10:10 here. Nice little day yesterday. Nice little $1,500 winner. Again, that video will be uploaded sometime today, and this session being recorded as well. No trades on the day yet. Just kind of sitting back, waiting for an opportunity. A lot less volume here in the market. I think a lot of traders kind of doing what we're doing here, kind of waiting for that news to kind of come out, especially since we've been so choppy back and forth just through consolidation. Moving higher here. Market really overextended here, about 76 on the RSI. Checking to see if that news maybe dropped a little bit earlier. Again, volume really light here today. The news that we're waiting for is that RCM TIPP Economic Optimism Index that's coming out here. Again, that's supposed to be released at 10:10 of this morning. Forecast is 47.2. No, I'm sorry. Forecast is 48. Consensus is 47.2. Previous was 46.1. So they're thinking that people are going to be more optimistic here, especially with the lowering of the interest rates. Housing market's looking a little bit better. And if you're just tuning in here, no trades on the day for me just yet. Been a real kind of choppy consolidation around that 200 moving average here on the SPY. And we're starting to move higher here, but we're waiting for that news to drop at 10:10 before we make our next move. So 10:03 here in the market. Again, we got news coming out here in 6 minutes. We're waiting for. If you're ever wondering where I find the news at, I'll post a link right there in the chat for you guys. That's where I take a look at all the news that's supposed to be coming out. You can see the most important thing on this is at the very top you'll see impact. You can kind of filter that out between 1, 2, and 3 stars here. First thing you want to do, check the 3-star report, make sure no big news is dropping that's going to have a real big impact on the market. And you got 2 stars, that's what this news is that's coming out that will affect the market. And then you have the 1-star news. 1-star news, typically, when that news drops, you won't see the market make big, huge swings unless whatever that data is really outside the forecast, which is very rare. It has happened. I've had 1-star impacts, like the news or the forecast to be so off that it really does affect the market. So you always be aware of what news is dropping, what time it's dropping, and if you're in a trade, it's going to also have determination, whether you close that trade early, keep it running. It just depends. That way you're never caught off guard where like the market makes some big crazy move and you're like, whoa, what news did I just miss? And it tanks your position. Sometimes you get lucky though, you're in a trade and news drops and it goes with you and it can really help your position out, but you never want to be caught off guard with news dropping in the market. So getting a pullback here, checking to see if that news is released, see if that's what's causing that pullback or not. So no news have dropped just yet. Again, we get about 2.5 minutes here for that news drops, and again we'll see what happens with the market based upon what the actual data is released at. Again, forecast is 48, so anything above 48 will be positive. Anything below 48 will be negative. About 1 minute to this news drops here. Again, no trades on the day yet for me. Waiting to see what this news does to the market. Again, we're on very light volume here today. Kind of weird here in the market, considering yesterday we were, a lot more activity in the market. Market a lot more volatile. Again, this morning a lot of consolidation around that 200 moving average for it finally took off here. So 10:10 here, waiting to see what the actual news is. Waiting to get that report here. Still waiting for the data to come in. Still waiting. So just reported 46.9, so a little bit lower. Consensus was 47.2, previously at 46.1. So a little bit higher. We'll see how that affects the market. Again, it's not too far off of what we expected here, so may not have much of an impact. At least that was the last news on the day, so we can get to trading as long as we get a setup I'm looking for here. Really, I'd have to see a pretty decent pullback here. Man, really all the way to that 200 moving average potentially. We'll put some low limit orders in here. So got some low limit orders. You can see all the way down here, starting at that 5771 area, then all the way down to 5764. Kind of starting to see that 9 moving average kind of crossover. I want to see if you look at the SPY here, kind of all around the VWAP and the 200 moving average, kind of which correlates here on the ES, is where I'm kind of looking for this to drop down to. See if we can't get a decent sized drop here, get filled, and then see it pop right back up. Again, lighter volume here on the day. The news was kind of around to what the consensus was, so we're not seeing, a big, huge kind of move off that news. So 10:13, no trades on the day yet. No real opportunity here. Again, we're going to sit back, be patient, wait for that volatility to hopefully come in where we can make some bucks here. Make some of that green. So come on, let's get a big pullback here. I just want that big pullback, fill me nice down and low, pop right back up. Be able to make some nice cash here this morning. Market looking like it's starting to get a little weak here. Let's see if we can get the pullback in here. RSI is right where I like it, right around that 50 area. So if we get the big pullback, that's going to put us, in a nice little oversold position. That way we will see the market bounce back up if we can get filled where we're looking for. I'm going to put another limit order just right above this one. Come on, let's go, market. Let's get filled here. We're starting to see that non-moving average crossover here. But again, we're getting RSI 45 here. Come on, let me get the nice little pullback play. Again, we're not forcing anything. We're going to let the market come to us. Starting to look good for our pullback play here. Just need the market to continue to dip here a little bit more. We can get filled. Get a nice little cost average in here and see the market pop back up. So we're about to get that non-moving average crossover, which is going to show a little bit of weakness here in the market. As long as the market keeps on pushing to the downside here. Like I said, RSI is right where I like it, right in that 50 area. So if we get that pullback, that'll put us in a good safe spot to get filled. I'm almost considering taking a shot to the short side here if we confirm this crossover as well. Be able to play both sides of this. So come on, market. Come down here and fill me. Oh yeah, keep on coming, baby. Give me that pullback. Give me that pullback. You can see my limit orders, they're all down here getting ready to execute if we get that pullback. Watching this area here as well too. If we get like a little upper shadow that pops up and then closes below this 9 and 20, I'm actually going to take this to the short side. Just let this be my profit targets down here. I'm kind of watching this. Didn't really get that upper shadow here. I think if we get a strong pullback, I'd rather get filled here to the downside. But I also will pull the trigger to the short with a tight stop. If we get this, if we get what I'm looking for here. This is going to be like, I want to see a quick little pump, upper shadow, close below that 9 and 20, then it should fall down. And we can make money on the way down and on the way back up as well here. Let's see. Didn't quite get what I'm looking for here. Market, like I said, very light volume. We're not seeing kind of a lot of movement, but we definitely are on a downtrend here. Again, I want to see an upper shadow with a close below. That'll give me confirmation that we are going to head lower. And I will pull the trigger on the shorts here. So starting to get that little pump. Again, I want to see this kind of have that little move to the upside, but then give it all back and close below that 9 and the 20. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle. Let's see if it does it. If it gets above the 9 and 20, though, this may start to run to the upside, and we may look to flip long here. Let's just see what the market gives us. I really don't want to take this to the upside. I don't think there's enough reward. Let's see, starting to get that upper shadow here. We had about 3 seconds. Let's see what this does. I didn't get the close that I was looking for. This is so tight right into here. Again, I think we just look for the drop here than trying to take this long. I don't think long is the play here, even though technical analysis will tell you that this has the potential to run here. I just think with the volume that we have on the market on a light day, I don't see this taking off. Again, I could be wrong here, but I don't think taking this long right here is the play. I think if we wait for a big pullback into these key support areas, just gives us the better opportunity. But here's a nice big lower shadow. Trying to get a little run here. Just rather get filled on a big pullback here than trying to take this long. Even though there's a little trend line here on this SPY that it's kind of following here. I'm just not a big trend line trader. I just don't believe in them because trend lines are just so subjective on how you draw it. I'll draw my trend line one way, you may draw it another way. It's so subjective out there trying to trade off of them, but kind of right now, it is kind of following the one that I've got drawn on the chart here. But with this light volume, I'd rather take bounce plays than trying to play long on a day with light volume, because it takes so much volume to really get the market moving to the upside. Then when we usually have low volume on the day, that's when you start to see those like big drops in the market that you can really take advantage of. Kind of buying dips off days like this. So I think I'm just going to sit back, kind of sit on my hands and look for that opportunity. Leave these limit orders up. Hopefully we can get a nice little dip buy in here. See the market rally to the upside. But as of right now, kind of doing what the market did this morning. Kind of consolidating, kind of around that 9 and 20 moving average. Just kind of running sideways on light volume here. 1022. Here in the market, no trades on the day for me yet. Again, just haven't had the opportunity here. At least an opportunity I feel comfortable in taking. Really the best opportunity of the day was off that consolidation off the 200 moving average this morning. That kind of led to this nice little run up this morning. Then this little drop here. Now we're just kind of consolidating here. Again, kind of looking for the dip buys. The RSI sits right where I like it, right in the mid-50s here. It's 51. So that leads me to believe if we have a big pullback, where I'm getting filled is going to drop the RSI into that 30-20 range, which is a perfect kind of dip buy opportunity. But again, the market may not give it to us, and it may, take off here off that trend line push. And if so, it is what it is. I don't think the long play just doesn't fit in my risk versus reward box on this. Like I said, could be wrong here. The market takes off running, but with light volume, that's typically not what we see on a day like this. But again, could be wrong. If so, I'll miss the opportunity. Kind of a weird trading day here so far. Again, we have had that, this morning big area consolidation off the 200 moving average. We had that run up. Now kind of pushing back, kind of settling into this big area of consolidation again. Again, I feel confident where these low dip buys are. That is where I want to take the trades here. As the market pushes down, RSI to the 46s. That way if we get filled here again off that 577 to 175, you can see all these limit orders in here. If we see the big pullback, we can get some fills on some nice little lower shadows. And then when the market pops right back up, we'll be able to sell out and capitalize on it. So, again, kind of sitting on our hands here, letting the market come to us. Again, Monday had a nice little day there, 1,500. Again, I'll get that YouTube video. I've got it. Had it recorded, had it converted, just got to upload it to YouTube. I'll get that yesterday's video, and then today's session being recorded as well. I'll get that uploaded. But hopefully we get a trade in today. 10:25 here in the market. No trades as of yet. And yesterday was a little bit weird of a trading day. Today, kind of a weird trading day as well. Like I said, hopefully we get a nice little opportunity. Right now, it's just, this is the areas where a lot of new traders, I remember like when I first started trading, a lot of new traders will burn, like on these areas of consolidation, will just be burning and turning here. They'll be taking a bunch of trades into these areas of consolidation and just kind of burning up commissions. So just be careful here. Again, I don't feel that the play is to the long side here. I believe that you look for the dip buys on a day like this with lower volume. But again, could be wrong. The market could really rally off this area as we kind of get above, the 9's above the 20. We're above the VWAP, above the 200. Technical analysis would tell you to look to take this to the long side here. But me having experience in the market and seeing all types of market conditions, when we have lower volume than average, typically we don't see the market run to the upside just because it takes a lot of volume to really push the market higher. On the days on very light volume or volume that's less than average, we typically don't see the market run. Typically what we'll see is those, those great pullback opportunities where you can jump in. But as of yet, we haven't seen it. We've just seen, right now the market really just kind of consolidating. But again, technical analysis says, this is going to try to run. So we'll see what it does. I want to sit on my hands here and wait for what I feel is going to be our best risk versus reward trade on the day. If I miss out on a big move to the upside, oh well, I'm going to miss out on it. But I'd rather feel comfortable getting into a trade than trying to chase the market. But we'll see. Again, 10:27 here in the market. Again, we're kind of dealing with not a lot of volatility, less shares traded than normal, I guess I say the average on the day. And we're just been kind of consolidating against that 9 and 20 moving average, just kind of, getting above it, getting below it, above it, below it, above it, below it, just kind of consolidating here. RSI is right where I like it, right in the 50 area. But again, I feel like the play is buying the dips, not trying to ride this to the long side. Even though technical analysis will tell you this is prime for a move higher. Again, we're above the 200, above the VWAP, the 9's above the 20. All indications that this is going to move higher. I just feel like that is not the play today for a risk versus reward standpoint. Feel much more comfortable here just sitting back, having low dip buy orders in here in case that volume really dies off. We see that big pullback, stop losses get hit. we can get filled down into here, and then as soon as we see the market pop back up, that's when we can exit out and scale out of our position and make some green on the day here. But as of yet, no trades on the day here. It's 10:30 in the market. Again, I see a couple new people here in the stream. You have any questions? Those can be answered in the live stream chat box. That's where I take a look at any questions that arise. But 10:30, sitting back, waiting for the opportunity here. Right now, the market's like watching paint dry. It's no fun. Again, just light volume. Again, we're being smart, waiting for an opportunity, being like snipers out here. Not trying to force anything. I mean, there's really no opportunities into here. It's just been consolidation. Again, I feel like the better play here on the day is to take the bounces and trying to chase this market up. Again, even though technical analysis, as you guys have seen me trade here, this is all indications that the train's going higher, when the 9's above the 20, above the VWAP, above the 200, but just the experience in the market and seeing this type of volume on the day just leads me to believe the opportunity is more on the dip bad side, just from a risk versus reward. Because I've seen setups like this, and when the volume's light, you'll get that big rush, and you'll be like, "Oh man, I'm going to chase this to the long side. I think we're going higher. My indication is we're going higher." Then all of a sudden, you see that big drop, and then you lose your ass. I'd rather be on the receiving end of that and just let the market come to me, get filled into here, and then see it pop back up. But again, could be totally wrong here, and the market could just really all of a sudden, volume come in and push this higher, and if so, we'll miss out on that opportunity. But from a risk versus reward standpoint, I'd rather be, have no trades on the day and miss out on the opportunity than try to chase this here and then get crushed. Flat day's better than a red day. Again, I feel much more confident just, if this takes off on me and I'm wrong, I'm okay with that. I don't want to chase this. So 10:32 here in the market, no trades on the day as of yet. Again, we're sitting back, being patient, and waiting for the opportunity to come to us. You can see where all the limit orders are, where I'm just kind of waiting for the market to have that pullback into these key areas here on the SPY, trying to get filled. Get volume, super light here on the day. Two things we need to make money, volume and volatility, and that has not been here on the day yet. It has been a while since I've had a no trade day, but hopefully we don't have a no trade day today. Hopefully, again, we're this is we're sitting back and being patient and hoping this trade works out. But if not, this could be a no trade day. Again, it's been a while since I've had one of those. But if there's no opportunities in the market, there's no opportunities. which is very rare for October. October, November, December, January, February, March, all the way into April. It's about the best trading you're going to get. So again, summer months get real slow in the market. Really, from Memorial till Labor Day is the slowest in the market. So right now, not much action. This is the slow grind to the upside here. Again, 1037 here in the market. No trades on the day yet. Again, waiting for the opportunity where we've got these limit orders for the market to come down. Again, we'll sit back. We'll be patient. We'll look for the opportunity here. So far on the day, been on this slow grind here, following that 9 and 20 moving average. But again, if this is what the day's going to be and it just continues to follow this, it's 1040 here in the market. Again, I'm fine with that. If I miss out on the opportunity, I think, from a risk versus reward standpoint, where our limit orders are at gives us the better chance of making money than trying to jump in here off the 9 and 20 and kind of playing it to those long side. Even though that is my strategy, and you guys have seen me play that 1,000 times, when the 9's above the 20, above the VWAP, above the 200, go long. But the reason I am not doing that today is that there's just such light volume in the market. And typically, when there's light volume in the market like this, buying that strategy to the long side does not pay off, because what we see is when that volume really dies off, the market really takes a turn for the worse, and then we see the market start to bottom out. And that's what I want to see, and I want to take advantage of that volatility if that happens, with these dip buy orders, then trying to follow this. I mean, even if we did buy, the 9 and the 20, or the 9 cross over the 20 here, let's just say we did dip buy into this, we really haven't had a big move to the upside. I mean, yes, we would be up decent amount in profit here on the day, but the risk that takes versus the market all of a sudden having that dump off and then coming all the way back down is pretty great, right? So I always kind of consider it, like if you walked into the casino, you're looking at different games to play, right? And every game has a different risk versus reward, right? There's some games like Baccarat that's a true 50-50 odds, right? It's a coin flip. Then you got games like slots that has like the worst odds in the casino, or making certain bets on craps have, like if you're placing a field bet, one of the worst bets in a casino versus like putting your money on a particular number and placing money behind it, things like that. And this is the type of day where this could pay off, and we're gonna have a no trade day here, but the risk is too great. Kind of trying to follow this to the upside. Then if we just have our limit orders down here, we just kind of let the market come to us. If it does get filled, and then we make our quick cash and get out of the market for the day. Because the risk is pretty great here. Even though technical analysis tells you, and on a typical trading day, I'd be going long here with the market. We have all this setups for it, right? The 9's above the 20, above the VWAP, above the 200. It's been following this trend for a while, and the trend is your friend. It's just when we see light volume in the market, we have a tendency to see the market have a big sell-off all of a sudden. And if you're caught to the long side, you could lose some money quick. So for me, the risk isn't there trying to take this. And again, here we go with the big run-up here. So most likely I'm going to be wrong here, because look at the market take on off here. But again, I'm okay with that, because 9 times out of 10, this is not what's going to happen. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see the market just dump. And we're seeing a big dump here. Look at the market pull back off that big run up. At least we got some volatility. And I'm going to keep these limit orders down here in case this market tanks. But again, we talked about this trade here, and this was a possibility. And I'm okay missing out on this opportunity. Again, I feel a lot safer. I feel the risk versus reward was not this play. And again, I've got to stick with that, not try to chase the market, because that's when it gets dangerous. Did anybody actually take that to the long side? Just curious if you were able to take that to the long side, get that big run up here, and sell out of your position. Just curious if anybody took that. Because again, the play was there. From a technical analysis standpoint, it was there. But me being in the market for as long as I have now, I mean almost, going on 8 years now, trading the market, I've just seen this play out too many times. Not like this, where it's like a slow, looks like it's going to go long, and then instead of getting a big green candle, you get a big red candle of death. And that's where I wanted to be to get filled. So 10:44 here, no trades on the day. I'm still keeping these lower limit orders in here. Again, we still got an opportunity to make money if the market starts to tank here. Still got these low limit orders ready to rip. Anybody watch the NFL game last night? I missed it. I was just curious on who won without having to check it here. I went to bed early last night. Man, 10:47 here in the market. Market is pushing higher. Like I said in the beginning, I'm okay with that, missing out on this opportunity. I just felt like the risk versus reward wasn't there. Even though if you did take it to the long side, I mean, technical analysis again tells us to take that long. I felt that again, the risk versus reward was just not there for me. And I am okay missing out on this opportunity. So like I said, 9 times out of 10, this is not what we see what happens. It's literally the exact opposite. Got this like slow grind up, then all of a sudden this big red candle, where this green candle is, it's actually reversed. It's that big red candle, and that's what I actually wanted. I wanted that big red candle come all the way down here, fill us real quick, and then we see it quickly pop back up on the next candle, and then we get paid out. So literally what I was looking for is the opposite of what just happened. But I am okay with missing out on the opportunity. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, this trade does not work out. But today is the rare occasion that we see it continue on up higher. But market get a little bit of boost off oil prices. That's kind of what we're seeing the market continuing on higher here for. Oil prices are coming way down, so it kind of naturally boosts the economy and the market. The market is very, very tied to oil prices. That is the other thing you want to pay attention to, is what it costs a barrel of oil. Everybody naturally affixes that to gas prices, and it's true, right? So gas prices do fluctuate with the cost of oil, but oil really runs the whole economy, not just, the transportation cost of your goods and services all around the world, but from the manufacturing of plastics that are in your everyday uses, from the tires that are on the road, from you name it. Oil prices affect everything. If you just look around and, in your house or in your garage, of everything that's made of plastics, from the cars that are manufactured out there to everything, oil has a big effect on the overall economy. So those oil prices will move the market in certain directions. And, we saw that with COVID as well. You know, you could actually, this is the first time I've ever seen oil futures go negative, meaning that you could buy a contract, futures contract that would, lock you in for 100 barrels of oil, and they would actually pay you, to take that contract. The reason being on that was it was better for them to give away the oil than it was for them to pay for storage, because you've got big companies out there like North American Tanker or Nordic Atlantic Tankers, I should say, North American Tankers as well, both ticker symbols NAT. A lot of it costs a lot of money to store that oil, and they have to keep those oil lines running and pumping because it costs more money for them to shut down a well and reopen it than it does just to kind of keep it. So it was actually, kind of during that COVID craziness when a lot of, when there wasn't that demand for oil anymore, it was actually costing them money to store it. But that's why you also saw like a lot of those oil tanker companies kind of go bananas as far as their stock prices, because they were making money hands over fist, charging them pretty much whatever they wanted to for the oil companies to store all that excess oil they were creating. But still looking for a pullback here. If we get it, it's 10:51. We got about 9 minutes left of trading here. If we can get a trade in, would be great. Make a little bit of money on the day. If not, this is going to be a very rare day where I actually have no trades on the day. But again, we had a nice day yesterday, $1,500 in profit. This may turn out to be a no trade Tuesday. Very, very seldom do I have no trades on the day, but the opportunities for me just were not there this morning. And I'd rather be flat on the day than try to chase the market and be red any day of the week. Again, I'll have yesterday's trades posted today, and then of course I'll have today's live stream posted later as well. Even though there's not many lessons on this trade, other than I did stay disciplined, at least for my strategy, and kind of what I thought on the day, but I was wrong, which again I was okay with. That we talked about earlier. If I was wrong and the market did push up higher and I missed it on the opportunity, I would be 100% okay with that than trying to chase the market, buy in here, and then what I thought would happen happened, and then I got crushed. We'll see here. 10:52 in the market. See if we can get a last minute trade into here. But as of right now, it's not looking like we're going to get much. Again, kind of a weird trading day. Kind of what we talked about this morning. That big area of consolidation off that 200 moving average. Big push. Big area of consolidation. Another big push. Very light volume. Light volatility, except for two big green candles that kind of popped up on us. Very outside the normal today. So let's see, we've got about 4 minutes left of my trading day. Let's hope we get a random pullback, get filled nice and low here, and try to make something on the day. If not, we're going to have a flat P&L day, no trades. Can't tell you the last time I had a no trade day, but again, I am okay with that. Also makes it okay too because we had a pretty decent trading day yesterday here. Again, $1,500 yesterday. Nice little day. So 10:59 here. Man, unfortunately, we are not likely to get a trade in here today. So this is going to be a no trade Tuesday. To kind of recap what we saw here. Again, I go live at 9:45 here in the morning. So 9:45, just this big area consolidation. Really no trades to be had here. Then we kind of saw this pop up. Then we kind of saw it pop back down. Then we saw this area of consolidation, this slow grind up, and this big push up. And right now kind of pushing back down and kind of consolidating again. So again, very light volume. We need two things to make money in the market: volume and volatility. We didn't really have much of either. Now we had a little, you can say we had the volatility here to the upside, that volatility here to the upside as well, but typically 9 times out of 10 when we have a lighter volume day, we don't see the market really rally to the upside. It takes a lot more volume to really push the market higher than it does lower. Typically when you see lower volume days, we see the market drop. That is not what we saw here this morning, right? And I was kind of looking for the market to drop. Really what we saw here, I wanted to see reversed. I wanted to see the big drop here get filled to the downside and then see it kind of slowly pop back up. But not what we happened here today. But again, I talked about that. Technical analysis told us to take this to the long side. But my experience in the market tells me not to do that on a day where there's less than average volume. Even though it worked out today, you don't want to get that confused that this is going to work out in the future, because 9 times out of 10, this is not what we see on a low volume day. It just happens to be that today is the day that we saw something kind of out of the normal. But again, like I told you guys, I would be 100% okay with losing out, of not being able to take advantage of the move to the upside, than trying to take advantage of it and then getting crushed. So, the risk versus reward for me just wasn't there. Hindsight's always 20/20. You can always go back and look at the day and be like, man, we really should have bought that long. But I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, this is not going to work out in our favor. And if I had to trade the day all over again, would I make the same decision? Absolutely. Because typically this is not what we see. But unfortunately for us today, we are going to have a no trade Tuesday. It's been a very, very long time since I've had no trades on the day. We just, didn't have the opportunities that kind of fit in my game plan. So that's okay. I'm going to be flat on the day. Luckily, we had a nice little day yesterday to kind of help carry us over from kind of being flat on the day today. But I'd much rather be flat on the day than take a loss. So I'm okay with that, even though we kind of missed it on that opportunity to the long side. But again, kind of a strange day where technical analysis tells me all day long, take this to the long side. But just my experience in the market with a lighter than average volume day is typically you do not want to do that, even though it worked out today. But that's going to be it for me. I'll have this video uploaded today. Not much to really kind of go over, since there was really no trades on the day, but I'll get that posted, and we're going to have us a no trade Tuesday. Congratulations if you did take this to the long side, and if it fit in your trading criteria, and you were looking to take this long, you were able to make some bucks today. But for me, I'm going to be flat, no harm, no foul, and we live to fight another day, and we'll be back on tomorrow. So that's going to be it for me. No trade, just to recap again, no trades on the day for me. You guys have a good one. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Peace.